guys doing today? We're still keeping the energy up? I don't know about you guys, but the music has been awesome. We're gonna produce a soundtrack, sell it over Amazon, just FYI, get some money that way. Monetize that. So, before I get to, excuse me, let me go back. Before I get to this, gentleman, I want to talk a little bit about the importance of moving fast and be able to cut. When we first had this idea about having technology interpreted into business speak within our IT engineering organization, people were saying, what are you talking about? So it's got to add value. It's got to add business value all the way up because it's not cool to develop the space shuttle that'll get you to the moon in 30 minutes and I have no idea what to do with that. So we went to a guy here who I initially called out at the start, a gentleman named Tagesh Ramaswamy. Raise your hand, buddy. Who was a big believer in us. Kind of gave us a crazy look when he said, we're going to do this, but he trusted us enough to say, okay, I'm going to back you guys on it. So he was our initial sponsor with this. Now, we've spoken a little bit about the communities. We've spoken about amplifying. And IT needs to be able to empower these things. And that brings us to the vision for Amplify. We want to convert Amplify into the upfront for technology. You come here, you learn about the technology, you have conversations with your business customers, we create roadmaps, bring in our vendor partners, we move forward together. This is the vision for Amplify. So within this vision, and I used the analogy a little bit ago about running fast and then cutting. I'm a big football person, so I talk about Walter Payton and Barry Sanders, speed and moves, AKA agility, and what would be the cutting fast? Come on, give it to me. Adaptability. It is no longer able to just be like, I can run fast. I need a cut. You're running fast, but move, right? Because the business models change. And if you're just stuck running too fast, you're going to miss it. I missed the train stop because I was running too fast. So within this world, within our ecosystem, this innovative ecosystem that we offer, it is our job to be able to allow our business customers to move fast and cut quickly. Our next partner here allows for us to do that, and that is Dr. Angel Luis Diaz from IBM.
Whoa, you guys hear me? Wow, I'm glad I did my P90X plyometrics this morning, because I feel good. Hey, first of all, thank you all for attending this great event, and you've been a great partner. It's been really great working with NBC over the years. You know, I run our cloud technology and architecture team for the entire corporation. I also run all of our open source stuff. So talk about communities, oh my gosh. I started my career at IBM at IBM Research, and you know, this is a doctor. When you put doctor, you're very nervous. Don't get sick, please. I have a PhD in computer science, and I graduated from RPI. You know where that is? Troy? Some RPI grads? Yeah, you know, it wasn't that much fun. It was kind of cold up there. But I spent 9 years there, and I went to IBM Research, and here I am. But what I'd like to do in the next 9 minutes and a half or so is talk about vision. But it's important that we understand that vision without execution. What? Oh, I'm supposed to dance? All right. I could do salsa. Let's go. You know, vision without execution is hallucination. So it's really important, you know, as we talk about the vision, what's happening in the industry, this you know, technology-fueled renaissance that we're living in, that we ground it with execution. So what I'm going to try to do is kind of ride that wave with you all in the next couple of minutes. All right, I'm going to talk about some of the really important things that are happening in the industry, some of the great things that we've done together already. Okay, so you can understand how to take advantage of that if you aren't already. But I like to ground it on execution because, man, I hate missing dates. I hate not delivering quality, right? I absolutely hate not delighting, right, our end clients, whoever that may be. Okay, so we live in this revolution built on technology, and I got to tell you, you know, you wake up and use your phones, and you check your Facebook, your Twitter, These things are running on protocols that we created in the 90s. I was an IBM researcher. I actually worked with Tim Berners-Lee. I co-authored HTML. I worked on the DOM committee. I'm going to go a little geeky on you guys, too, so I am a nerd, so I go back and forth, right? But it's like, we did not think we'd be using these standards and protocols this way now. It is unbelievable. But think about it. Here we are taking advantage of all that infrastructure, and we live in a world where cloud, data, analytics, mobile, cognitive, right, artificial intelligence, right, are coming together, and we are working now with our partners to evolve the technology. Back then, why was HTML created? To disseminate physics information. What was the first XML vocabulary ever created? The mathematical markup language to compute and visualize mathematics. Not to buy something on Amazon, okay? So we're building these technologies now, but the difference is we're building them with you, right? So the art of the possible is going to be truly amazing. But here are the realities. The realities is that we need to drive better operational excellence, right? We talked about business process. It's about squeezing that lemon. And we've been squeezing that lemon so hard for so many years. And that's cool. Customer experience, expectations, the way people interact, changing. Gosh, you know, my moods, my desires change a lot, so my experience changes. You know, what I want as an experience. How do you adapt to people like that, right? And of course, new business models. Now, everybody always talks about, you know, oh, these disruptors, right? These people who are biting at our ankles. Yeah, it is kind of painful. I understand, you know, but you can fight it or you can embrace it because the new business is an ecosystem. It is a community, okay? So to the degree that you can take those so-called small ankle biters and bring them in to use your core systems and then increase your market share, holy cow, you can grow a market that perhaps is capped. Think about it. So it's not always all bad to be disrupted. So let's talk about technology. This is part of the execution. Okay, that's the vision. That's what our business folks are here trying to do, right? Operational excellence, better customer experience, right? Execution, technology, cloud. Gosh, hopefully we are all here understand what's happening with cloud technology. The ability to create abstractions, whether it's at the infrastructure, compute, storage, and network, at the platform, or at the actual, you know, application layer. Now, you talked about do-it-yourself. You want to reduce the do-it-yourself. That's what you want to do, right? You want to reduce the concept count. For any developers in here? Anybody? Like, am I the only person? All right, this is like 5. Okay, good. For those of us, you know those O'Reilly books you buy? I want to reduce the number of books you have to buy to be productive, right? So you can focus on what you deliver, okay? But then there's the reality of the new business. And this is to my point earlier. It is all about the ecosystem. How can you get your products and services not just to me as a person who watches TV or who, you know, engages in some NBC property in some way, right? But to all of your partners, and how do you grow that, right, to a point that is just unbelievable, and then allow more people to innovate and make money on your core services. Banks are doing it. I can't tell you how many banks, you know, up and down Manhattan every day. Banks control the transaction, which happens to run by way of IBM systems, FYI. I'm sorry, did I say that or was I thinking that? Right? But guess what? Right? They control a transaction. Don't be afraid. Open that up. Blockchain. Ever heard of blockchain? IBM started an open source effort around blockchain. Jerry Cuomo, an IBM fellow, and I worked on some stuff about 4 years ago. Put it out in open source at the Linux Foundation. Do we all know what open source is? I don't know. I was told I had a mixed audience, you know? It's like, well, you know, don't be afraid. You know, guess what? Blockchain applies to what you guys are doing. Think about it. It's not just for transactions of money. It allows a fluid business process. Think about creating an application that allows you to bring partners in and out without even knowing who they are. We had someone from legal sitting over here, right? She wouldn't be worried because all of the legal constraints and the hyperledger and everything you want to do is sorted out beforehand so they can come in and out of your value chain. And you have peer-to-peer trust built in. It's an amazing thing, isn't it? Now, when you look at the evolution of this technology, you know, I kind of think of it as eras. It's always easy to look back. It's tough to look forward. Look, Cloud 1.0 was about compute, storage, and network. How do I get access to that? And if anyone runs a data center or provides a service to somebody, we get that, whether it's local, private cloud, public cloud, or dedicated, offshore. But that's quickly evolving to the notion of platforms. The notion of just give me what I need as a developer. Give me a Node, a Mongo, a Cloudant, a Hadoop. Let's set this thing up and we build something, right? And then it starts evolving even more to more semantically rich services, capabilities, reducing the do-it-yourself counts, reducing the O'Reilly book count, right? Cognitive capability. We have, I'll get into this garage method later, but we have Jonathan, we have an IBM thing back there, and Jonathan, who's one of our developers, built this really cool application, uses Node, I think there's some Mongo, and of course some of our cognitive capability using Bluemix, which is our platform as a service cloud. And he built this literally half an hour. And he has two applications. One is that it looks at the feeds of what's happening in the market and predicts stock prices. Hey, go check it out. Now, would you use it to invest? I don't know. You have to talk to Jonathan about that. But it's pretty neat. He also built this thing that uses some of our cognitive capability for doing tone analyzing. So you speak to it, or you write something down, it listens to what you're saying, and it says, are you angry? Are you sad? How do you feel? That's important. You're building a customer-facing application, and knowing that someone's like me, impatient from New York, pressing 0, next, just give me a human, don't want to talk to you, right? I'm very calm. It's funny, I run our Silicon Valley development lab for cloud as well. So I go back and forth between New York and California. Can you imagine me in California? It is tough, because I gotta slow it down. I gotta let people cross the streets. I can't bump. I gotta be so nice. It's tough. All right. Anyway, so let's talk about cloud, and let's talk about speed, agility, plyometrics, Tony Horton. Let's talk about that. So first of all, when you think about technology, we have existing IT infrastructure. That ain't going away. It's great. It's good. It works. All right. Some of that you might want to evolve into a more cloud-native way. Right? And there's lots of interesting things going on in cloud. And I'm so proud of what's happened in the cloud space around open source. Anyone hear something called OpenStack? It is that's awesome. It's funny. So we helped start OpenStack with Rackspace. I walked in, I spoke to the Rackspace guy. Hey, let's do something special here. Because at the time, there was about 10 different open source infrastructure as a service things. And it was all about community. We created the best community. The last OpenStack conference, this is a data center conference for the most part. 9,000 people showed up at an open source data center conference for compute, storage, and network. We have the next one in Barcelona. Jonathan, who's the executive chairman, was texting me and said, we'll probably get about 10,000. Holy cow. Isn't that crazy? It's a movement, right? And you look at what's happening with containers, right? I stood on stage at OSCON with Google, and we announced the Cloud Native Computing Foundation, which is a foundation for doing microservices in the open. And you talk about platforms like Cloud Foundry. All of these are the elements of cloud native applications. And this whole event-driven architecture, this serverless movement that's going on. So all of these layers, and I know I threw a lot of acronyms, and some of you know what I'm saying. Some of you are like, what the hell is he talking about? Look, it's just technology stuff. It's good stuff. It's open. It's not proprietary, right? But when you use this stuff, whether it's 10-speed IT or like 0-speed IT, you need to be able to move fast, okay? You need to be able to pivot. You need to be able to move fast. Speed is the new Benjamin when it comes in this world, no matter where you are in your technology journey. And when you employ principles for doing what people call DevOps, I don't know if anyone knows Gene Kim. He's a guy in the Silicon Valley who talks a lot about DevOps, very well known. He's very clear about the benefits you get for working in a, let's say, agile way, but with certain rules of the road. Why does open source work? It's a meritocracy, right? People do +1s. You get access to commit code. You can do pull requests. You submit code to a squad with the test case. You build trust. That's how things work in the open source. And by the way, it works. All of those methodologies, all of those ways of doing continuous integration, continuous delivery, work in the enterprise too, okay? And it is possible for enterprises to large companies, when I say enterprise, I don't mean the Starship Enterprise, okay? large companies, right, it is possible for them to act and behave like startups, right? Everyone wants to be that, San Francisco or Dumbo or whatever, startup with 10 people. But guess what? As soon as you hire that 11th person, and that person happens to be, say, in Troy, New York, that person might as well be in China. Because if you don't have the processes in place or the methodology, you can't operate well as a team, okay? And the reality is we have distributed teams, there's distributed squads. So we went through this transformation in IBM, and I helped lead that with a couple of others for about 5 years. I started 5 years ago, and it was painful. Because you're living in a world where you're going from waterfall methods to agile methods, right? And transforming a culture. And by the way, doing it in a way where you can't hide. Because the way we deliver technology is not by, download this big piece of code on your computer. It's on the cloud. And you can't hide. Changes are done like this, okay? We literally do builds on our production cloud 4,000 or 5,000 times a day, okay? Now, it always doesn't go into production, but we do builds of it. So what we did is I said, if it worked for us, if we were able to reduce our cycle time, and we're a large enterprise, so we're able to work with, teams that are in Raleigh, China, and California, and New York, maybe our partners can as well. So we created a methodology and open source. It's called the Bluemix Garage Method. And this is the how. This is the how you work together, and it is detailed. You want to know how to run a scrum, how to do a stand-up, right? What a Kanban is. You want to know how to do these things for real? Check this out. So I recommend, for those of you who are involved in thinking about a DevOps journey, to think about the methodology. But then there is the technology that empowers the methodology, okay? So when you do that, you have to think about what are you deploying, okay? Artifacts. The how are you deploying it, and the where you're deploying it to, right? All of those things are really important. And you have lots of choices, lots of tools, lots of things that you can do to do that DevOps chain, to give you the speed, no matter whether you're using existing IT or any of this new stuff that I was talking about, okay? So there's a lot of open source technology, a lot of different kinds of technology go do that, and that's all good. They all kind of solve specific problems. But you need a way also to bring all this together. And one thing we've been doing with you all is working on a process that allows you to move faster and have enterprise controls and visibility over the DevOps process to actually manage that. And we use one of our technologies called Urban Code. So I recommend you all check out that case study if you haven't already. And it allows you to move extremely, extremely fast. And we've had incredible benefits. We've gone from 4 weeks to 4 days. We've been able to empower social coding, the collaborating between teams, okay? So that's something we've done in partnership with you all. It allows you to get the speed, whether you're using cloud technology or on-premise technology. So with that, I'm going to leave you, because I think I'm out of time, right? Okay. I'm going to leave you with a very simple, this clock had 3 minutes, 2 seconds ago. I'm going to leave you with a very simple message, and that is this. At the end, when you want to have vision, right, and you want to be able to execute and not hallucinate, it is important that you have the right innovation method. Methodology is what allows you to move fast in a controlled way, especially at enterprise scale. You need the right platform. Oops. You need the right platform, okay, the right technology, tool chains, et cetera, okay? And you need the right culture and the right community. You major on those 3 things, you can do it. We've done it. And I encourage you all to go back there and talk to us and tell you how we did it. Thank you very much for your time.